Hello! So this is my account of the time that I met Dan and Phil in November on the 15th. I'm mainly recording this for my own use because I'm too lazy to write it all down, and I haven't done yet, but I want to record it while I still remember it. Okay, so basically we arrived in this massive room and I was there with two people that I knew already, and then I saw some other people that I know as well, which was nice. We ended up right at the back because the queue was like trailing round. I was like, there was a person in front of me, and then and then they went and I was like, oh god, it's me next. Like they made me go first in this group of people that I knew, so I was like the security person was like, okay, you can go through now, and I was like, my feet wouldn't move. It felt like forever. It was probably about 5 seconds because it was like a screen, so you couldn't see people having their photos taken with them. You couldn't see you couldn't see Dan or Phil like at all until you went around the corner. So I went around the corner, and then they were a lot closer than I thought they'd be. So it was so abrupt. But like I just saw Phil, and he was 3D, and it was so weird. Oh. They were like elongated, but they also had really big heads. I don't know, I thought they'd just be like, I don't know what I thought. It was so weird. Oh my god. But I turned the corner, Phil was there. Oh, his face, it was like really smooth, and it was just like, it was just there. It was kind of like he was a robot. I remember seeing Phil the most. I don't remember looking at Dan that much. You know when you're like, eye level is like somebody's torso, like not their face. I remember his grey shirt. He was wearing his one outfit that he has, and so I hugged Phil first, which was great. You hear people say they smell good and you think they're lying, but no, Phil really did smell really good. Like I inhaled for Phil. I didn't inhale for Dan, and I regret this. This sounds so creepy. Ah! So then I hugged Dan, and it was great. I had the book open at the page that I wanted to do it, and they were like grabbing for the book, but I didn't let go of it, and I was like, first of all, I just want to say thanks for putting my art in the book, because I actually have something to write on my personal statement now. And they laughed. They laughed at something I said. And then I was like, yeah. And then Phil was like, cool, okay, can we take your book now? And I was like, oh yeah, sorry. So Phil was signing the book, and as he was signing it, I was like, Phil, guess what? I go to your school. And he was like, whoa, really? And then Dan took the book and he was like, and you're surviving? And I was like, oh. But yeah, at one point, Dan took the things, I'm going to put a picture now, of what I made, which is also what I made for the Manchester tour, which is the one that I went to also. They used them in the show, so I made smaller versions so that they could potentially keep them. I don't think they did, but honestly, I don't really care anymore. Yeah, I had these two things just in my hand because they were hanging from string from my hand, but I'd completely forgotten that they were there. And then Dan was like, what are these? And I was just like, oh yeah. And then Dan was like, I recognise these. And I was like, I made them for the Manchester tour, and you used them in the tour. And so then they took them and they were like, oh yeah, we can use them in the show this time as well. And I was like, I thought they were just saying that to be like nice and like say, oh yeah, we use them, yeah, because they're cool, but they're not, because they're not. They're creepy. And then they took the photographs. They were so tall. They had to bend down. Look at this picture. They had to bend down, and they were still so much taller than me. So I was just like, let's take photos. They took 2 photos. One of them, my eyes were shut, so I've just got like 1 photo, but that's all I need. Yeah, so then I started walking. I was like, thank you so much. And I was struggling like thinking straight or walking straight or doing anything. And then it was around the corner, and I was around the corner, and then Dan was like, oh, don't let Phil run off with your book. I hadn't taken my book back. Phil still had my book, so Dan was like I say chasing after me. He walked like 2 steps behind me, and he was like, don't let Phil take your book, and then he gave it me back, and it's signed, and it's beautiful, and just look at this beauty, and it's on the page opposite my name that's in the book, so that's great, and I'm just dying of happiness. Anyway, I got around the corner, and that's when they gave you like that gift bag with all the cool stuff in. I was about to walk off because I'd completely forgotten, my mind wasn't thinking straight. The woman gave me the bag, and I was like, oh, thank you. And she was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I just need a minute. And then I went down and sat down because all the people had gone through, like they'd moved a bit so I could sit down where my bags were, which was like right at the front where the security guard was, where you walked through. So I went and sat down there and like had a little bit of a cry because then everyone had done, like all the other people that I knew had gone through. They were like walking out, so there was a little gap between the screen and the door where you could see them and they could say bye and stuff. Like, that was great. And then the woman was like, gather round, everyone, gather round. And I was like right at the front at this point. I didn't know what was happening because my mind wasn't thinking straight, okay? And then, so I'm like, okay. So I gather around. I see everyone else has their phones out. So I'm like, okay, I'll get my phone out, put it on video. Why? I don't know. And then I remembered, because of all the updated fan things that they retweet and all other people put them on Twitter, they walked out and I was right at the front because I'd sat there and it was like a great view. So I'll put a clip of this here now. Yay. I really told you. So that was the best minute of my life. You got like 2 minutes with them? I don't know. I lost all sense of time, but I feel like that could have happened in 2 minutes. But honestly, I'd pay it all again. The tour was amazing, like the show. Personally, I preferred the Manchester one just because it was less rowdy. Maybe it's just because it's London, or I don't know. I don't want to offend anyone. They used my art again and they wheeled it out and I couldn't see it. Like in the Manchester one, I could see it. They pulled it out and like they did one of my friends first, which was really cool. It was like a drawing of Dan and Phil, but as Doug and Grumpy Cat. It was so cool. But they used them and I was like, what? But I was sat by myself, so I couldn't like scream or anything. I was just like I was trying to tell the girl next to me that it was mine, but I was just like I have goosebumps because I'm like, oh, I'm remembering it so well. I can't remember what they said on that tour, which is really, really upsetting. But I remember this, it was something along the lines, similar things to the Manchester tour. Phil was like, oh, I'd use this, you know, if I had a car, I'd use this as a bit hang it on the mirror in the middle. And I was like, I'd buy them a car just so they could do that with my art. Except I have no money. This isn't even a coherent video. This doesn't make any sense. I don't think you can even understand what I'm saying anymore. Okay, bye.